Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, it is Good Friday, and it is good because we celebrate the fact that Jesus died for our sins. You know, we're not in a way he died. He died for our sins, and we are happy because he took the price for our sins. Okay, I deserve the death, but in reality, he took my place. So let's read today. We're going to be taking this from Mark 15, verses 1 through 15. And today I'm talking about Pilate versus Jesus. You're going to see in this, Pilate was a people pleaser. Okay, he was out to please the crowds instead of doing what was right. You're going to you compare that to Jesus, and Jesus was a God pleaser. Really, he was pleasing the Father, and what the whole intent, he was going according to God's plan and following that all the way down to, uh, through the last moments. So let's read Mark 15, verses 1 through 15 today. Okay? It says this: Very early in the morning, the chief priests, with the elders and the teachers of the law and the whole Sanhedrin, made their plans. So they bound Jesus and led him away and handed him over to Pilate. Okay, so this is taking place, and during the night, the Pharisees had kind of an illegal trial, and then they realized, they determined he needs to die, but they were not allowed to kill him. That was up to the Roman officials to kill him. Okay, and the Roman officials are not going to execute someone because they say they're God. Okay, they could care less. They could add, God, another God to the whole plethora of gods they already had. But let's see what happens here. Verse 2: Are you the king of the Jews? Asked Pilate. You have said so, Jesus replied. The chief priests accused him of many things. So again Pilate asked him, Aren't you going to answer? See how many things they are accusing you of? But Jesus still made no reply, and Pilate was amazed. Pilate was amazed because, listen, many people, when they came before Pilate, they would just run off with the mouth because they were trying to get out of being executed. And Jesus, it was part of God's plan for him to be executed, so he said nothing. Okay, why defend yourself when the plan is to be executed? So that's why Pilate was amazed. Verse 6: Now it was the custom at the festival to release a prisoner whom the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did. And this Barabbas, he wouldn't have, the Jews would have been sympathetic to him because he was leading an insurrection against Rome. And the Jews were not happy to have Rome in their homeland anyway, so they would have kind of been in favor of Barabbas here. Not necessarily killing, but they would have liked having Barabbas. Verse 9: Do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews? Asked Pilate, knowing it was out of self-interest that the chief priests had handed Jesus over to him. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead. What shall I do then with the one you call the king of the Jews? Pilate asked them. Crucify him, they shouted. Why? What crime has he committed? Asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, Crucify him! Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. Okay? Pilate knows good and well that Jesus is innocent here. And he's sending an innocent man to be executed. He did nothing wrong, okay? But rather than stand up and saying, no, I'm not going to execute an innocent man, he was out to try and please the crowds. He was trying to remain popular. And the last verse, in verse 15, it tells all we need to know about Pilate. Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. Okay, so he was going to satisfy the crowd. He was going to please the people more than to do what was right. And he knew good and well executing Jesus was not the right thing to do, but he was going to please the crowd. Okay? You compare that to Jesus, who was following along exactly with what God, the Father, had intended all along for him to be executed and to die for our sins. And when Jesus is asked to defend himself, he says nothing. Why defend myself? I am here to be executed. And so he follows right along with what God's intention was. Okay, so you can compare the two. People pleaser, God pleaser. And it was obvious Jesus was out to please God. And in the end, Pilate, history really kind of erases Pilate from the scene. In fact, a lot of historians debate, like, did this Pilate even exist? It wasn't until a few years ago they actually found some monuments and stuff about Pilate. So he goes down in history as kind of a weakling, and Rome didn't even want to have him around. All right, but then Jesus goes down in history as like the greatest man who ever lived, and he was our God. All right, is our God. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking into the Word as we celebrate Good Friday here. And join us tomorrow as we continue with Holy Week, or Passion Week, on Saturday. And then Sunday, the day after tomorrow, is the Lord's Day, a Resurrection Sunday. Thanks for being with us. I'll see you tomorrow.